If you ever take a photo that came out too dark, too bright, or just not quite right, it's usually because of one thing: exposure. Today I'm going to break down the exposure triangle, the three settings that controls how your photo looks: aperture, shutter speed, and ISO. Once you understand this, you'll be able to take full control of your camera instead of letting it decide for you. Exposure simply means how much light hits your camera sensor. Too much light, your photo looks washed out. Too little light is too dark. The goal is to balance light so your image looks natural or creatively correct. And that balance comes from three settings working together: the exposure triangle. Let's start with aperture. A wide aperture like 1.4 lets in a lot of light. That's great for low light photos and blurry backgrounds. A narrow aperture like 16 lets in less light but keeps more of your image in focus. So remember, wide aperture, more light, blurry backgrounds; narrow aperture, less light, sharp backgrounds. Next is shutter speed. This controls how long your camera sensor is exposed to light. A fast shutter speed like 1/1000 of a second freezes motion, perfect for sports or action shots. A slow shutter speed like 1/30 or even seconds long allow motion blur and lets in more light. So, fast shutter freezes motion, less light; slow shutter, motion blur, more light. Now ISO. ISO controls how sensitive your camera sensor is to light. A low ISO like 100 gives you clean, high quality images in bright conditions. And high ISO like 3200 or more helps in dark environments, but it can add grain or noise. So low ISO clean image needs more light, high ISO brighter image, more noise. How the triangle works together. Here is the key idea: you can't change one setting without affecting the other. If you open your aperture to let in more light, you might need a faster shutter speed or lower ISO to balance it out. If you increase shutter speed, you might need more ISO or a wider aperture to compensate. Everything is a trade-off, and that's what gives you creative control. Let's say you are shooting indoors. It's dark, so you open your aperture wide, but your photo is still dark, so you slow down your shutter. If it still needs light, you increase ISO, but not too much or you will get grain. You adjust until all three settings works together. The exposure triangle isn't about memorizing numbers, it's about understanding balance. Once you practice, adjusting these settings becomes second nature. And that's when you stop taking random photos and start creating intentional ones. Mastering exposure is one of the biggest steps toward taking better photos. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. If you find this video helpful, leave a like, subscribe for more photography tips, and I will see you in the next one.